Jungkook grew up surrounded by love, the kind that didn't shout but stayed. Namjoon was firm, protective, a man whose silence often carried more weight than words. Jin was warmth itself, hands always busy in the kitchen, laughter softening the sharpest days. They were not his biological parents, but they were his fathers in every way that mattered. Jungkook never felt unwanted. He felt cherished. That was why he believed in love so deeply. So when Taehyung entered his life tall, intense, eyes dark with unspoken storms, Jungkook didn't hesitate. Taehyung loved him with a possessiveness that felt like devotion. He shielded Jungkook from the world, held his hand like he was something fragile and sacred. "You're mine," Taehyung would whisper, and Jungkook thought it meant forever. Taehyung stood before Namjoon and Jin like a man, ready to go to war. "I want to marry Jungkook," he said. The words fell heavy into the room. Namjoon didn't answer immediately. Jin's eyes flickered to Jungkook. Jungkook stood frozen near the stairs, breath shallow. He hadn't expected this. Not yet, not so suddenly. Taehyung bowed deeply. "I love him," he continued, "and I swear on everything I am, I will protect him." Namjoon studied him. Kim Tae-young was powerful. Everyone knew that. Wealth, influence, a name spoken with both admiration and fear. But Namjoon wasn't looking at his status, he was looking at the man's eyes. There was love there, and something else. Pain. "You're asking to take my son away from us," Namjoon said slowly. Taehyung nodded. "I am, and I know that fear, but I will never cage him. He will always have a home with me and with you." Jungkook felt his chest ache. Jin broke first. "Oh, for heaven's sake, June," he sniffed. "Look at how he looks at our baby." Taehyung's gaze flickered straight to Jungkook. Soft, warm, devoted. Jungkook's knees nearly gave out. Namjoon exhaled slowly. "If you ever hurt him," he said, voice calm but dangerous, "I will destroy you." Taehyung bowed again. "I would deserve it." Silence followed. Then Namjoon nodded once. "You have our blessing." Jungkook's world exploded. The morning of the wedding dawned crisp and bright, the sky painted in soft pastels of pink and gold. Jungkook stood in front of the mirror, adjusting his tuxedo nervously. His hands trembled slightly, a mixture of excitement and apprehension bubbling inside him. Today, he would become Taehyung's husband, his forever. "Relax, Cookie," Taehyung's voice said softly from behind him, sending a shiver of warmth down Jungkook's spine. "You look perfect. Just breathe." Turning, Jungkook met Taehyung's gaze. His amber eyes were impossibly deep, filled with something Jungkook couldn't quite name. Love, desire, and a shadow that flickered for only a moment before vanishing. When Jungkook walked down the aisle, every eye was on him, but his gaze never left Taehyung. And Taehyung, standing at the altar, looked at him like he had been waiting his entire life for this moment. The vow Taehyung spoke was perfect, too perfect. "I vow to stand beside you," he said, voice low, intimate, "to be your shelter when the world turns cruel." Taehyung stood before Namjoon and Jin like a man, ready to go to war. I want to marry Jungkook, he said. The words fell heavy into the room. Namjoon didn't answer immediately. Jin's eyes flickered to Jungkook. Jungkook stood frozen near the stairs, breath shallow. He hadn't expected this. Not yet, not so suddenly. Namjoon watched. Something in his chest twisted, but he ignored it. That night, Jungkook left his childhood home. Jin hugged him so tightly it hurt. Come back whenever you want, Jin whispered. Take care of yourself. Jungkook promised. Taehyung opened the car door for him. The city lights blurred past as Jungkook rested his head against the window, heart full, unaware that the road ahead was paved with thorns. Taehyung's house was massive, cold, beautiful. The doors closed behind them with a sound that echoed far too loudly. Welcome home, Taehyung said, his tone warm, yet there was something off. Jungkook smiled. He didn't see the way Taehyung's expression hardened the moment his back was turned. Inside bedroom, everything was arranged perfectly. Candlelight flickering across the polished floors, soft music drifting in the background, and a bed adorned with fresh petals. The scene screamed romance, yet an undercurrent of tension hummed beneath the surface. Taehyung pulled Jungkook close, his lips brushing gently against his forehead. You're mine now, he whispered. All of you. Jungkook felt a thrill, a fluttering in his chest. All of me, always. I can't believe this is real, Jungkook whispered, his head resting against Taehyung's shoulder. Taehyung's hand traced a line along Jungkook's jaw, tilting his face up. It's real, he murmured, voice low, almost hypnotic. And it always will be for now. The last words carried a subtle weight, almost imperceptible like a shadow passing through a sunlit room. Their night began tenderly, with laughter and whispers, fingers intertwined, hearts beating in sync. For a moment, everything was as it should be. The love, the trust, the future, they were all tangible, held in their intertwined fingers. Jungkook closed his eyes, imagining the life they would build together, the laughter, the shared secrets, the quiet mornings wrapped in each other's warmth.
Jungkook woke up alone. For a brief fully second, he smiled, thinking Taehyung had gone to make breakfast. Jungkook sat up slowly, heart fluttering with a shy happiness. The house was a quiet, too quiet. No footsteps, no voices, no warmth. He slipped out of a bed, barefoot against the cold floor. His body ached faintly, but he ignored it. Marriage ex, Jin had joked. Jungkook smiled at the memory. Then he heard laughter, a woman laughter. It came from downstairs. His chest tightened. Not jealousy, not yet. Confusion. He stepped down the stairs, felt heavier than the last, as if the house itself was pushing him away. The laughter grew clearer. Jungkook froze at the bottom step. Taehyung stood in the living room, shirt unbuttoned, arm wrapped around a woman dressed casually, as if she belonged there. She noticed Jungkook first. Oh, she said, eyes trembling over him slowly. So this is him. Taehyung looked up. His eyes were empty. He said calmly, You are awake? Oh, Jungkook, Taehyung said casually, as if nothing were wrong. This is Shani, my girlfriend. The word stuck like a blade. Jungkook's mind spun, disbelief and horror colliding. You're what? Jenny smiled cruelly. Did not he tell you? Taehyung stepped closer to Jungkook. Taehyung's embers high held no warmth now, voice low and lethal. Don't look so surprised, he said coldly. Did you really think this, he gestured between them, was ever real? Jungkook staggered back, the room spinning. Taehyung, I don't understand. Jungkook's throat went dry. His mind refused to process the scene, his chest tightening with disbelief. This, this is, this is not you. Taehyung's eyes, once filled with tenderness, were now cold, calculating. It's me, he said softly, the real me. You have been pawned, Jungkook. All of this marriage, affection, it was never love, not from me. Jungkook felt the floor tilt beneath them. What? What do you mean? He whispered, voice trembling. I never loved you, Jungkook. This marriage, it was my plan. You were my revenge. Jungkook's knees gave out. He caught himself against the wall, nails digging into plaster. Revenge? He whispered. Taehyung stepped closer. You know your father, he said quietly. The great Namjoon, the respected one. Jungkook shook his head. What are you saying? My parents died screaming, Taehyung said flatly. Burned alive in a fire your father caused. That's a lie, Jungkook cried. Taehyung grabbed his chin suddenly, hard enough to hurt. You don't get to speak, he hissed. Jungkook gasped. Jenny watched with open amusement. I married you to break him, Taehyung continued. To take what he loved the most. To own it. Jungkook's vein blurred. You are my property now. Taehyung released him, letting him fall. From today onward, Taehyung said coldly, you cook, clean, obey. At night, he laughed softly. You will be useful, he finished. Jungkook curled into himself on the floor.
Jenny's smirk widened as she approached, placing a hand on Taehyung's shoulder. Looks like the honeymoon is over, she said, her voice dripping with malice. And in that moment, Jungkook realized the first night of their marriage had not been the start of a lifelong love, but the opening chapter of a nightmare from which he could not yet awaken.